Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and tonight we are getting the reveal of the next legendary hero to drop into the game in just a couple of days. I have the trailer pulled up here, we can watch together for the first time as a blind reaction. I'm not looking at my screen, so I don't know who is revealed. Now, before we get started, I'll just quickly remind you kind folks out there that if you do enjoy the types of content that we put out, including Fire Emblem Heroes content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, as well as a comment down below, letting us know the types of content that you'd like to see. Now, with that, let's get started. I'm gonna wait for the icons, the menu to leave. All right. So, a new legendary hero joins the battle. Okay, it's a mage. Oh, it's Micaiah Radiant Queen. All right. There are going to be a lot of happy people out there. That's a colorless tome. She's an infantry colorless tome user. She goes with New Dawn, her own assist. Interesting. Huh, and her own unique B slot as well. Beautiful art. Oh, that's gorgeous. That attack animation is phenomenal. Got Soth back there backing her up. Okay, so I'm sure she's got some heavy damage reduction built in somewhere, it seems. And she's got effective damage against that cavalry unit, which is, I guess, pretty standard for Micaiah. So we got Naga as well. We've got Sothis. Thrasir, okay. Edelgard. Lilina. Ingrid, interesting. Farina, Edelgard, Morgan, Ashera. Okay, alright. Got a selection of really powerful units. A lot of regular, non-limited units as well in there for sure. So we're going to take a closer look at Micaiah. We're also going to take a closer look at the units themselves to see if this is ultimately a banner that I'm going to be pulling on, and if it's one that I could recommend that you pull on, for my own personal opinions. But Micaiah herself looks fantastic. I know a lot of people have been waiting for her to get introduced as a legendary hero, and here she is. And she looks great. She really does. So, of course, starting at the end of the month on the 31st of August and stretching for a week, you will be able to summon on this banner for these units. Let's rewind to take a closer look at Micaiah's skills as well as her art. So the art is by Hotjon, one of my favorite artists in the game, and they did a fantastic job on Micaiah here. She just looks very dignified and has this calming presence, almost these sad eyes to her, despite the fact that she has a smile. Beautiful golden regal tresses adorning her hair and sort of lining her outfit, giving it just a certain degree of opulence. And then you have these thick, extravagant robes around her. The red, I think, complements the purple very well, as well as the gold, and sort of a contrast with the thick robes and the more svelte outfit that she has underneath. That shoulder bearing also bears some leg there. She definitely has a more mature look overall, which goes hand in hand with her new title, Radiant Queen. So let's take a look at what her skills are, what she's going to be bringing to the table. She's got a lot of exclusive stuff. So, as mentioned, she is going to be a colorless tome infantry unit. Despite them adding more colorless tome units, it's still a relatively rare weapon color. So, she has that going for her right out of the gate. New Dawn is her weapon, exclusive to her, 14 might. It's going to be effective against both armored and cavalry foes, grants attack +3. If unit initiates combat, or if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack res +6 during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. If unit's HP is less than or equal to 50%, and unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack. Okay, so the weapon itself has a lot of things built into it that I would call standard Micaiah effects. It has armored and cavalry effectiveness, which is what we've come to expect. She has either, if she's initiating or within 2 spaces of an ally, she gets a bonus, so the +6 to attack and res is nothing to scoff at. In combat buff that's very good, allows her to do more damage and take less damage. And then she has this tacked on additional desperation effect added into New Dawn, which I think is great. It fits perfectly for her. And that frees up her B slot for what is going to be her unique B slot down there. So those standard Micaiah things are fantastic. Dual effectiveness is amazing for armored and cavalry foes. The condition is incredibly easy to meet for the additional stat bonuses. and the guaranteed follow-up attack, that is very strong. And then just adding on a built-in desperation is a fantastic addition to that. The HP requirement is a little bit more strict, but it sounds like she has some damage reduction built in here, so it's going to be easier for her to, get down to the 50%, I imagine. Again, just having standard Micaiah stuff, heightening it, and then adding desperation on, not a huge volume of effects on this tome, but I think it's very strong nonetheless. If we take a look at, she has a unique assist apparently, Maiden's Solace. So it's range 1, converts penalties on target into bonuses, then neutralizes any penalty that remains, restores HP to target equal to unit's HP, current HP minus 1, reduces unit's HP by amount restored. Okay, so this is going to be a combination Harsh Command Plus and Sacrifice, I think, basically. It's going to neutralize any penalties on your ally, as well as heal them by a pretty significant portion, but also reducing Micaiah's health. And that's actually going to help her get into the HP threshold range for New Dawn's Desperation effect. So that actually is pretty nice. So there is definitely some nice synergy there. Fury 4 for the A slot grants +4 to all stats, and after combat deals 8 damage to unit. That's just going to increase our effectiveness overall, offensively, defensively, everything. And that tick damage is again going to allow her to get within desperation range for New Dawn much easier. All right, Prescience for the B slot. This is going to be unique to her once again. Inflicts attack res -5 on foe during combat. Straight up. No conditions to that at all. She just gets that bonus to her B slot. That's very good. If unit initiates combat, or if foe's range is equal to 2, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%. Okay, that's very strong. The attack res -5 on the foe during combat, that in-combat debuff without any condition at all, that alone is pretty strong for the B slot, to be honest with you. And then tacking on this additional thing, she gets damage reduction, again, which is going to allow her to increase ultimately her survivability. When she's initiating into somebody, when they counterattack and she doesn't have the desperation active, that just is going to reduce the amount of damage that she takes so that she'll be able to survive and then potentially be under the 50% next turn or next action for desperation to be active. So that's fantastic. Again, that synergizes very, very well with New Dawn. And then if foe's range is equal to 2, so that means that even on enemy phase, if she's tanking somebody from a distance, she is also going to enjoy that 50%, or excuse me, that 30% damage reduction. So yes, that is certainly very strong. And then for her C slot, it's a new C slot that is going to be inheritable, Joint Distant Guard. So grants defense res +4 to allies within 2 spaces during combat against ranged attackers. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally and foe uses a ranged weapon, grants defense res +4 to unit during combat. Okay, a pretty darn good C-slot skill. I don't know if it's necessarily perfect for her. I think that it's certainly going to help her to be able to sustain and tank certain hits, and then again increase her survivability so that she can get to the below 50% HP for the desperation. So that's always nice. Of course, it's not locked to any particular phase. It's on both enemy phase and player phase. Yeah, so Micaiah is definitely bringing the heat. I think her effects are really straight and to the point. A lot of things that we would have expected a Micaiah to have from all of the Micaiahs we have in the game so far, but kind of amplified. And then you have this built-in desperation, which and all of these skills that basically push her and allow her to get into that range to activate her desperation. The Prescience B slot with the in-combat debuff is very strong. There are certainly counters to most, if not all of these things, right? We have ways to neutralize damage reduction. We have ways to neutralize guaranteed follow-up attacks. There are all of these, methods of getting around what she does. But when she's allowed to do what she does, she's going to rock it, and she's going to do tons of damage, and she's going to be very, very effective. So let's keep going here. I mean, I think they honored her pretty well. And there is her attacking art. Actually, wait, I think this is her damaged art. Yeah, there's lots of holes in her outfit here. So yeah, I think her robe is in tatters more, like the fur lining is broken, the strap around her shoulder is broken. There's some perforation in actually the skirt lining as well, and on her gloved area. So yeah, this is definitely her damaged art. I love her expression here. She looks fierce, determined, ready to take on the world, basically. Those thick, ostentatious robes are now in tatters and falling away, showing the more delicate garment underneath, which does reveal some of her legs here, as well as the tapered approach to her top. Yeah, just beautiful detail on the shading and colors here. And I absolutely love this attacking sprite animation. Really bringing the dawn, it's true. And then here we're going to see her tank a hit, right? And that damage reduction in action. And then here is her... Oh, so here's her regular attacking art, looking a lot more delicate, not as desperate, not in a desperation status, so she doesn't look quite as angry. She's a lot more composed, and what is basically that thick, heavy bathrobe is still around her. So yeah, looks awesome. And we have another look at this attacking animation. Fantastic. So let's take a look at the banner as a whole. We've got Micaiah, of course, on colorless, and she is going to be joined by Ashera and Fallen Edelgard. That is an incredible lineup. Fallen Edelgard is not a limited unit in any capacity, however, she is fantastic, of course. As far as units where you can brain-dead brute force your way through content, Fallen Edelgard is way up there as one of those candidates for sure. Ashera, a little bit more nuanced, but she is a recent mythic hero and very, very potent in her own right. And then, of course, you've got Micaiah. So again, that lineup is absolutely incredible. Colorless is absolutely not something to be ignored if you're missing two or all of these units on this. Of course, you're going to be missing Micaiah, but if you're missing, either of the other two, it's probably a pretty good opportunity to pick them up on this banner. If we take a look at green, we've got Thrasier as well as Legendary Edelgard, and we've got Fallen Morgan. Now, once again, Morgan not limited, but still very, very strong. Within Morgan, you have access to a Threaten skill. Legendary Edelgard is still going strong, and Thrasier, despite her age, is also still very potent as well. So that's a pretty darn good color, I have to say. Maybe not quite as good as colorless here, but still very, very strong. If we take a look at red, we've got Legendary Lilina, we've got Sothis, and we've got Male Morgan. Male Fallen Morgan, I should clarify. So Male Fallen Morgan is probably the weakest of the Fallen bunch in general, and I do think that kind of docks red as a whole as a color on this banner. Both Sothis and Lilina are legendary/mythic heroes. Sothis, despite her age, is still pretty good. She's still pretty strong. Lilina is an absolute beast as far as a Cav mage. So I would personally put red below green, but not like that far off, to be honest with you. And then for blue, we've got Naga, Ingrid, and Farina. So I think that's clearly the weakest color on this banner. Naga, I think, is underrated a bit. I think that people kind of give her a lot of flack, but I also think that she's probably one of the weaker units on this banner in general. Farina and Ingrid, neither of them are limited units. They're both in the regular pool. They're both very good units in the regular pool. I just don't think this is necessarily the platform that you would want to pull for these units specifically. You'd probably want to wait for a regular banner. Now, if both Farina and Ingrid are like your top priority targets, like because you love those characters, then it might be worth pulling on blue. But besides that, I don't really think that blue is one that I would put up as a priority. So I would rank the colors basically in the order that we went through them. I think colorless is clearly at the top. I think green is just shy underneath that. Again, red is underneath that, but again, just shy. Those three colors are pretty closely tied together. And then I would personally put blue a couple of notches down below that. So that's my personal opinion and I guess evaluation of the banner as a whole. I am a bit tempted to go in on colorless on this banner. I don't know if I ultimately will, just because I am hurting and a little starved for orbs given the circumstances in the past couple of months. It's been a little rough. So I don't know if I'm going to be going in on this banner or just kind of waiting it out. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for this banner, if you're excited for Legendary Micaiah, and if you're going to be pulling for it. I wish you the best of luck and hope you get all of your targets very early. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.